जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राध माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राध माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राध माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राध माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राध माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राध माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, everyone. Today we'll start from Prabhupada Leelamrit. Let me share my screen. This is where we stopped last time. Srila Prabhupada sometime. Okay. During the voyage, Srila Prabhupada sometimes stood on deck at the ship rail, watching the ocean and the sky and thinking of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Vrindavana Dham, and the order of his spiritual master to go preach in the West. Mrs. Pandya, the captain's wife, whom Srila Prabhupada considered to be an intelligent and learned lady, foretells Srila Prabhupada's future. If he were to pass beyond this crisis in his health, she said, it would indicate the goodwill of Lord Krishna. The ocean voyage of 1965 was a calm one for the Jaladuta. The captain said that never in his entire career had he seen such a calm Atlantic crossing. Prabhupada replied that the calmness was Lord Krishna's mercy. And Mrs. Pandya asked Prabhupada to come back with them so that they might have another such crossing. Srila Prabhupada wrote in his diary, if the Atlantic would have shown its usual face, perhaps I would have died. But Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship. On September 13th, Prabhupada noted in his diary, 32nd day of journey, cook party khichdi. It appeared to be delicious, so I was able to take some food. Today I have disclosed my mind to my companion, Lord Sri Krishna. There is a Bengali poem made by me in this connection. This poem was a prayer to Lord Krishna, and it is filled with Prabhupada's devotional confidence in the mission that he had undertaken on behalf of his spiritual master. An English translation of the opening stanza follows. See appendix for the complete Bengali verses with English translation. That was a note. I empathetically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, Lord Chaitanya, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great, saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. By his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world, in all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, and streams. Everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. At the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I'm not worthy or fit to do it. I'm very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy so that I may become worthy, for you are the wisest and most experienced of all. The poem ends. Today, that remembrance of you came to me in a very nice way. Because I have a great longing, I call to you. I am your eternal servant, and therefore I desire your association so much. O Lord Krishna, except for you, there is no means of success. In the same straightforward, factual manner in which he had noted the date, the weather, and his state of health, he now describes his helpless dependence on his companion, Lord Krishna, and his absorption in the ecstasy of separation from Krishna. He described the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple, and he praised his own spiritual master, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, by whose strong desire the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. He plainly stated that his spiritual master had ordered him to accomplish this mission of worldwide Krishna consciousness, and feeling unworthy, he prayed to Lord Krishna for strength. The last verses give an unexpected, confidential glimpse into Srila Prabhupada's direct relationship with Lord Krishna. Prabhupada called on Krishna as his dear friend and longed for the joy of again wandering the fields of Vraja. This memory of Krishna, he wrote, came because of a great desire to serve the Lord. Externally, Srila Prabhupada was experiencing great inconvenience. He had been aboard ship for a month and had suffered heart attacks and repeated seasickness. Moreover, even if he were to recover from these difficulties, his arrival in America would undoubtedly bring many more difficulties. But remembering the desire of his spiritual master, taking strength from his reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita and revealing his mind in his prayers to Lord Krishna, Prabhupada remained confident. After a After a 35-day journey from Calcutta, the Jaladuta reached Boston Commonwealth Pier at 5:30 a.m. on September 17, 1965. The ship was to stop briefly in Boston before proceeding to New York City. Among the first things Srila Prabhupada saw in America were the letters A and P painted on a pioneer warehouse. The gray waterfront dawn revealed the ships in the harbor, a conglomeration of the lobster stands and drab buildings, and rising in the distance, the Boston skyline. Prabhupada had to pass through US immigration and customs in Boston. His visa allowed him a 3-month stay, and an official stamped it to indicate his expected date of departure. Captain Pandya invited Prabhupada to take a walk into Boston, where the captain intended to do some shopping. They walked across a footbridge into a busy commercial area with old churches, warehouses, office buildings, bars, tawdry bookshops, nightclubs, and restaurants. Prabhupada briefly observed the city, but the most significant thing about his short stay in Boston, aside from the fact that he had now set foot in America, was that at Commonwealth Fair, he wrote another Bengali poem entitled Markain Bhagavata Dharma, teaching Krishna consciousness in America. Some of the verses he wrote on board the ship that day are as follows. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon his useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. But I guess you have some business here, otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied, and therefore they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. Krishna, I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know that your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? Oh Lord, I'm simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. All living entities have come under the control of the illusionary energy by your will, and therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I'm very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I'm seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. So if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. I'm sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their heart, they will certainly feel gladdened and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. Oh Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhakti Vedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhakti Vedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on the boat of Shiv Jaladuta Commonwealth Pier, Boston, USA, dated 18 September 1965. Oh, what a great poem by Srila Prabhupada. I'll stop here, Mataji, and I'll start the session. I'll start.
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Share my screen. Just before we start, I'll do the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Diriyat Nashtaprayasya Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. Three. So today's verse is first verse of chapter 24 from Canto, chapter 24 from Canto 4. Oh, that rhymes. So, Maitriya Uvacha Vijitasvo Dhiraja Asit Prithu Putra Pruthusrava Yavi Yobhyo Dadat Kastha Bhat Pratrobhyo Pratvatsala Maitriye Uvacha Vijitsava Dhiraja Asit Pritho Putra Pruthushrava Yaviyobhyo Dadat Kastha Bratrobhyo Bratvatsala Maitriye Uvacha Vijittasvo Dhiraja Asit Prithu Putra Prithushrava Yaviyobhyo Dadat Kastha Bratrobhyo Bratravatsala. Anybody would like to recite this?
Hare Krishna Ji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Matra Uvacha Vijitsavo Adhirat Ashita Pritu Putra Pritu Srava Yavi Uvayo Adatat Kasta Bhatribhyo Bhatrivatsala. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am also trying.
Yes, please.
Matra Uvacha Vijitashvadirajashi Prithu Putraha Prithu Srava Yavyabhyo Dadat Kastha Bhatribhyo Bhatrivatshalaha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody else would like to try?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. May I try?
Yes, Mataji.
Maitriya Vacha Vijitasva Adhi Rajasi Prithu Putraha Prithu Sarvaha Yaveyo Bhayo Adhattat Kashtaha Bhratri Bhayo Bhratri Vatsalaha. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So we'll move to word translation. Anybody would like to go with word translation? Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Maitreya Vacha. Maitreya continued to speak. Vijitashva, of the name Vijitashva. Adhiraja, the emperor. Asit, became. Prithu Putra, the son of Maharaja Prithu. Prithu Shravaha, of great activities. Yaviyobhya, unto the younger brothers. Adadat offered Kashtaha, different directions. Bhratrabhya, unto the brothers. Bhratr Vatsalaha, very affectionate to the brothers. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone wants to try the translation, please?
Okay, please continue.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great sage Maitreya continued. Vijitashva, the eldest son of Pitu Maharaj, who had a reputation like his father's, became emperor and gave his younger brothers different directions of the world to govern. For he was very affectionate towards his brothers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And anyone wants-
Continue.
yes, Prabhuji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. After describing the life and character of Prithu Maharaj in the previous chapter, the great sage Maitreya began to speak about the sons and great sons in the genealogical line of the Prithu dynasty. After the death of Maharaja Prithu, his eldest son, Vijitashva, became emperor of the world. King Vijitashva was very affectionate towards his younger brothers, and therefore he wanted them to rule different directions of the world. From time immemorial, the eldest son, generally becomes king after the death of the previous king. When the Pandavas ruled the earth, Maharaja Yudhishthira, the eldest son of King Pandu, became emperor, and his younger brothers assisted him. Similarly, the King Vijitashva's younger brothers were appointed to govern the different directions of the world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Om Jnana Timandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhavaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Vidvyaspriya Swami Iti Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Very important verse. We saw and how Prithu Maharaj ruled the world exceptionally in the previous chapters, and he went back to Godhead. So now where we are at in the Bhagavatam is that now we see his eldest son stepped in as a king. And from the purport and also from the translation, it seems that, it must be in those days, it must be quite an easy transition between the father and the son. So if you are a king's son, you will get all the privilege. You will become the king automatically. But that was not the case. Even though it appeared like that, there are two significant words here in this verse that itself explain that that was not the case. Which Prabhupada has also mentioned about Devi Varnashrama system, that any activity that we do is as per our nature. The activities that we do defines the Varna, it is not birthright. So similarly here, it was not just because Vijitsva was eldest son, that was the only reason why he got the throne, but there were two main reasons. And those words, first word is, in the verse, is Adhiraja, the emperor. So it's not an ordinary king that one gets qualification simply by birth, that the son of the king will become a king and he will be given a title of an emperor. But one has to acquire proper qualification. Proper training needs to be there. So without training, one cannot get that qualification. So there was a provision in royal dynasty to be trained first. And the eldest son used to be trained in such a way. So after training the candidate, then we measure the candidate. And only after measuring, knowing that the person is qualified, the royal dynasty would give the throne to a particular king. So how do we measure? So that was the next verse, which was Prithushravah. So this is how king of the son of Prithu Maharaj was measured against, and that was the parameter was the reputation like his father. So Prithushravah, the exact word towards translation was of great activities. So King Vijitsva had the reputation of Prithu Maharaj, and that was a very important factor that he had to carry on as an inheritance. So Prithu Maharaj was not a name by itself. One has to properly hear the glories of Prithu Maharaj, which has been mentioned in several chapters prior to this. So just to point, in yesterday's class, Mataji has very nicely explained the overview of the entire chapter. So I'll go over some of the few qualities of Prithu Maharaj. That he was the partial incarnation of the Lord Vishnu, yet he had to take birth from a disqualified body of Vena. So here, if you see, he took birth from a disqualified body of Vena. So we have to understand that birthright is not to be considered much of an importance. So Prithu Maharaj was born from Vena's upper arms body after the Brahmanas churned Vena's body. And as soon as Prithu Maharaj appeared, they understood that an empowered expansion of Lord Vishnu has appeared. But then when Lord Brahma arrived, he also arrived with all the other demigods, and seeing the mark of club on the King Prithu's right hand and the lotus on his feet, Lord Brahma could understand that King Prithu was the Lord's partial representation. So what we learned from this, why Lord Brahma were checking for all these signs? Anybody would like to answer this? But what was the point of checking all these signs?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Because the father Anga is not disqualified, he's checking whether he's a devotee or any same like father. So maybe that is the reason.
Mm-hmm. Father Vena, who was just not very qualified. Yes. So you're almost there. So basically, Lord Brahma was showing through his example. So as we know that Brahmanas and others, they understood that he was Lord's partial representation just by looking at him. but still through example, we are taught that we should not blindly accept anyone as Lord or Lord's partial incarnation. So therefore, we should always verify an incarnation of God's identity according to the symptoms mentioned in the Shastras. So Lord Brahma was checking the symptoms that matched the Shastras. So he was Lord Brahma himself. He also was not blindly following it. And then the next one. So I'm going to talk about 3 lessons here, because in the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj, there are many lessons to learn, which can help us and become a guideline on how to act in Krishna consciousness. So when Prithu Maharaj appeared and Brahmanas started to glorify his future activities, so he was being glorified that, oh, Prithu Maharaj is going to be a great personality, is going to do this, is going to do that. And Prithu Maharaj said he was not very happy. He was not very happy with that glorification. Usually when anybody is glorified, people will be so happy even during the prediction time that, oh, you will be such a great person in your future coming years. But he was not happy. He in fact advised that why am I being, all these qualities are being glorified or directed to me, as I have not yet displayed them. He advised not to be glorified as he hasn't performed any of those activities yet. So what we learn from this pastime and what message or lessons we are getting is that glorification should be for those who have already performed activities in service of Krishna. And later on, it is also concluded that a praise without execution of any activity can be seen as a praise as an insult, because that person has not really done much. But then if we overpraise someone as well, that can more turn out to be as an insult than as actually a glorification. So Prithu Maharaj, in his humility, he was teaching us when to accept and when not to accept. The other pastime, which is very popular, we all know about it, the production, the pastime from Maharaj Prithu when he was angry on Mother Earth, when she withdrawn all the production, and then how he milks the mother planet. So in that pastime, we see so many qualities. There are so many subtle qualities to note that I will go through that pastime. That when Prithu Maharaj went to have a conversation with Mother Earth in the form of cow, so even though he wanted to show the power and anger to the disobedience to Mother Earth for not doing her duty, Mother Earth was pleading to listen to her. And Prithu Maharaj paid attention to her. She gave reasons on how she has withdrawn the productivities, and because everybody was engaged in non-pious activities. So when there is discrepancy in executing the function which are ordered by the Lord to the entire society in the respective classes, so she complained about everyone. So how to rectify this in the service of the Lord is not an ordinary task. But Prithu Maharaj was the qualified person to be able to do this. And first thing he did was he had an empathetic listening, hearing to her plea, and he understood. The cow then invited him to milk her. And they came to a solution, and she requested to bring an appropriate qualified calf. So living entities are categorized into so many different types of classes. There are almost 8.4 million species. And Prithu Maharaj was checking out all the orders and classes and stating from demigod to to other different classes and who to choose as a calf. That's a big responsibility, but only Prithu Maharaj could do it. And of course, from that pastime, we need to understand that we need to do our activities for the pleasure of the Lord, to serve Lord. And that's how Mother Earth can also be pleased. And the best occupation about all humanity is to carry out our prescribed duties in Varnashrama system. So that's why Prabhupada also focuses a lot on how we should be following Devi Varnashrama system. So that way we all are performing our prescribed duties very nicely. And then we are also progressing. At the same time, we are progressing. So performing Varnashrama Dharma or Devi Varnashrama Dharma by itself can't make you self-realized, but you do need to follow the process. But that definitely helps one to progress in their spiritual life. So the best occupation, as I mentioned, that we should serve, we should do any activities for the pleasure of Krishna. And then the next pastime, which is the which is also linked to the son of Prithu Maharaj, and that's where he has been mentioned and his qualities has been mentioned. So that was the pastime of horse sacrifice, where we saw how Prithu Maharaj's son Vijitswa gets the horse back from the Indra like a hero. And he was named Vijitswaha by the sages. So, and he was named like that because he was the one who was in charge during the during that yajna, that Ashwamedhya yajna. And he saw that Indra was successful in disguising as someone else multiple times. First time he left him because he was dressed as a sannyasi, and a lot of times he chased after him. But as soon as he realized that it was Indra, he went and got the horse back from like a fighter. So he did not give up. So that's why so because he did not give up and he fought like a hero, like a great emperor, seeing his great act, sages had named him Vijitswaha, which means he had won the horse. So he had the courage to fight with such a great personality like Indra. People can get overwhelmed thinking, oh, I can't do this because I'm just a son of Prithu Maharaj. But he did have qualities. He did have qualification. So lessons we learned in this that was a pastime to explain Prithu Maharaj's son's glory. But what the lesson we learned from all this pastime, which I'll quickly go over, that after that it went to Prithu Maharaj, and Prithu Maharaj realized that, oh, he is the first person who disguised like a sannyasi, and he was very angry on Indra and he wanted to punish him. And that's when we see some great qualities that I'm going to just tell you in a few minutes. The first thing what we learned, that Prithu Maharaj was doing a karma kanda activity. So for performing this horse sacrifice was a karma kanda activity. Usually people who does the 100th one, they can become King Indra. And usually people do to fulfill the material desires. But the three modes of material desires always interfere. So how great a person may be, he can be easily influenced by the three modes. So person who is not easily influenced by these three modes, would be his greatness. And that was the greatness of Prithu Maharaj. So Prithu Maharaj was so powerful that he had a firm resolve that his appearance has been to restore the laws and order. And in this pastime, we saw King Indra's enviousness to Prithu Maharaj to complete 100th fire sacrifice of Ashwamedhi again. He was virtually feeling a threat from King Prithu that, oh, if he finishes the 100th one, my throne is gone, my throne is gone. Because even though Prithu Maharaj took a Karmkand section, from Prithu Maharaj's consciousness, he was trying to get a welfare order, that planet Earth will become more efficient. And he wanted to set up everything. But from Indra's consciousness, he was materially thinking only about his throne. He was thinking from his perspective of Karmkanda, that, oh, his throne is at risk. So he couldn't understand the pure desire of King Prithu to serve at that time. And due to that jealousy, he tried to ruin the sacrifices by stealing the horse multiple times. And at the end, Lord Brahma had to interfere. So, of course, when King Prithu wanted to punish him, not punish him because he was ruining his personal attempt to gain anything personal from this whole sacrifice, but he was doing a welfare activity. And plus, he didn't want anybody to set a wrong example of disguising as a sannyasi. So he calmed down, he listened to Lord Brahma's, and then when Lord Brahma explained to him that you are King Prithu, you are way greater than Lord Indra. You don't need to get into this petty business. So you are more than Indra. So what is the use for you? So means one who is totally surrendered to carry the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's also at the platform of divinity. So Prithu Maharaj was also at the platform of divinity. And for him, the behavior should be different than ordinary. So there can't be action and reaction here. He should not do this in counter jealousy or retaliate unnecessarily. So rather, he was advised to reject that material endeavor. When there is excess of activities which is not going to please the Lord, Lord Brahma knew this principle. So he advised Prithu Maharaj to give up that attempt because it was useless to carry on from that point onwards. So you can see that Indra was not wise here. He's not intelligent. And in our case, if we get experience of such situation where we may feel not being properly justified, we don't need to leave, give up, or become discouraged, because if the aim is devotional service, then we need to understand that devotional service never stops. Devotional service is not linked to a particular activity. Devotional service is the consciousness of whatever activity we do becomes devotional service if that is to please Krishna. So someone's insecurities or jealousies to impede in devotional service is not going to change someone else's devotional service. So therefore, one has to look into the transcendental nature, beyond these material modes that plays and comes and acts and distract us from the real path. And we need to try to act in divine. That will be pleasing. And Prithu Maharaj understood and he gave up. So seeing his devotional service, seeing his purity, Lord wanted to appear. So that was the difference as a result. So the broad-mindedness of a devotee should be cultivated. Prithu Maharaj became obedient to the words of Brahma. So that's what we learn as well. When we be obedient and trust our authority, the spiritual authority. And Lord was pleased because of Prithu Maharaj broad-mindedness and forgiveness. So when spiritual quality has to be applied to show mercy on others, one has to become broad-minded. So if one is not properly cultivating devotional service, then he will become very restrictive. He's confined into his own belief system. But devotional service is independent. Bhakti Devi shows mercy upon whom she is pleased with. So if we think about this pastime, then from a material point of view, it seems like Indra won, because Indra's desire got fulfilled to stop the 100 horse sacrifice. But at the same time, Prithu Maharaj was transcendentally situated. So Prithu Maharaj was at a better position, and that he was able to please the Supreme Lord, even after stopping at 99th. That's why Lord Vishnu appeared. That's why he himself wanted to appear, and he wanted to benedict him. So that is way greater than the throne of King Indra. So this is the broad-mindedness. So Prithu Maharaj was completely purified by this behavior, which you can see, because of course he was the partial incarnation, but from this part we also understand that before, his attitude towards was that he was thinking about the physical welfare when he started this sacrifice, but only to that. But after performing the act, after going through this situation and performing the act to please the Lord, it gave him intellect on how to behave in humility. It also gave him chance to show us an example that how to behave in humility for such situation. So he was so humble in his speech, and every action became so sweet, meaningful, and effective. And this teaches us to find an opportunity to develop oneself in difficult situation. By listening to the instructions of our spiritual teachers, we get that direction to develop those spiritual qualities. We may feel that, we are told to be the bigger person sometimes. Even in siblings, it happens like that. But the bigger person grows. So this is Prithu Shravaha. That is hearing about the great activities of the devotees. So when we are hearing these great activities of Prithu Maharaj, we heard great activities of Srila Prabhupada, how much with difficulties just now in Prabhupada's Lilamrita, with so much difficulty, he boarded on Jaladuta, and he had so much faith and confidence in Krishna. He was dependent and surrendered to Lord Krishna. It shows, it gives us the direction, it gives us examples to follow in their footsteps. So this is Prithu Shravaha, that hearing these great activities of devotees, we can develop our qualities through following those as an example, as they have set those best examples for us. So we should understand the activities of great devotees and try to acquire in our devotional service. So thank you, everyone. I would like to end there. And if anybody have any questions or comments, we can go through that now.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
What a nice beginning of this chapter 24, explaining the importance of Prithu's 5 sons, and importantly, the eldest one, which is Vijit Shava. Vijit Ashra means he acquired the horse. That's why Ashra means the horse. So he made a winning spree of the horse. That's why his name is. And his greatness acquired from his father Prithu Maharaj. And how nicely you explained from the chapter 15 to 20 the greatness of Prithu Maharaj.
Mm-hmm.
He was not interested in the petty things. The most important thing is the devotional service, as you mentioned nicely, how important, what is the background going on. Not to look at the instant one, look for the long sight one. That is what Srila Prabhupada was also feeling when he was traveling to America on the Jaladuta. He was feeling the same thing because Radharani was very much pleased with him. So he was just feeling whatever the problem he faced during this journey, through heart attack, one after another, still he was bold enough with that intention that his mission is to be fulfilled. That opportunity and that strength of confidence in Krishna gives us the same strength if we follow the character of Pitu Maharaj, read it, understand it, and try to follow, would receive the same kind of benediction. So it is very, very important for all of us in this spiritual journey to understand the read and spread it to others so that others can benefit. Thank you so much. This is all from me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for the very nice class, and particularly telling us the importance of the qualification a king need to have, in spite of the fact that Vijitashrava was selected being the eldest son of Prithu Maharaj, but he was qualified to do the job. So one should be competent enough to do his job. And just because he has been selected doesn't mean that I mean, in one criteria, like a birth consideration you were telling about, but one need acquire the qualification also to be eligible for a position, and that is the right way. Otherwise, he will not be able to perform his duty properly. And Vijitashrava was properly qualified to do that job. Although generally the eldest son was being made the king of as a successive king, but he was totally qualified for that. And that is the point for me. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Prabhuji. So, Shama Mataji, should we close?
It appears there is no other person to make comments or realization or any other opinion to make. So we can conclude. You can conclude the class, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Vancha
Kalpatruvesya
Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavane
Ananta Kodi Vaishnava
ki jai. Ananglata
Mataji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
jai.
jai.
Mataji.